What is good, everybody, and welcome back to the End Goal Podcast, the show where I like to have meaningful conversations with people about topics that I find interesting and or educative. Today is a solo one with you and me because today's a very important day. Today's a very important day. Guys, we've hit 100 episodes of this podcast. We've hit 100 episodes of this podcast, okay? I'm imagining confetti flying around. I should have bought a kazoo. I should have bought a kazoo for this because that's how crazy it is, right? And it's it's so important to me that we've hit 100 because when I was first doing the podcast, I was researching it and learning about the podcasting space. A lot of people would throw out the stat that most podcasts don't make it to 100, right? Most podcasts, even if they are weekly, they make it to the first year, but that's only 52 episodes, right? You got to make it through 2 years of doing a podcast to make it to 100. And a lot of them don't. And a lot of the ones that I've seen start and stop have honestly been the type of podcast where you already have these large creators and they're trying to then create a podcast on top of what they're all already doing. And then they just can't, lives change, like schedules don't align, all this stuff. And they're just like, yeah, it's just, we can't make it work. We can't meet once a week and do this. Also, because they want to meet, it's those like once a week, let's catch up and talk and then talk about other topics. But if you're not in the same place every single week, it just doesn't work, right? And so those I've seen two of them start and stop in the past 2 years, along with many others that men have not seen have started and stopped. But we're still here. We're still going strong. We're still going strong, and I am very excited to talk to you guys today. And we have a bit of an agenda. This is not a single topic 100 episode podcast. Okay, this is an agendaed podcast because over here we do agendas. We really don't. We just kind of start yapping. But I need to put these messages on DND because there's no way that I'm about to get these notifications when I'm trying to talk about my 100th episode. Okay, we got to put this laptop on DND, got to put this phone on DND. I didn't do this beforehand. Okay, and now we're back. What's the agenda? What is the agenda for today? So we're going to start with kind of a mid-year check-in to see, did the goals that I talked about on my not July, it's July right now, my January podcast talking about my goals for the year, did that come, did I follow all of those? What did I do? What have I not done yet? Also kind of a refresher for me because I was looking back at this goal list and I was like, I didn't even think I set that goal for myself, which is bad, which is pretty bad. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to do a mid-year check-in. And then second, okay, second, we're going to do a teeny little bit of Q&A. Okay, we're going to do a teeny little bit of a Q&A because I posted for the past like week, 2 weeks, I was posting on the Substack, on socials, in the stories, ask people if you have any questions, send them over. I'm gonna do a Q&A for the 100th episode podcast. So we have a few questions from you guys that I want to get into, and I'm very excited. Thank you for everybody who left questions. I appreciate you. And the third thing is we have a big announcement at the end of the podcast that hopefully you guys will stick around for, okay? A huge announcement. It's a huge announcement. It's really important. So I hope you guys stick around for that. Great. Okay. So let's get into the mid-year check-in. And on my phone, I have all the goals that I'd set for myself in my previous podcast episode. We're just going to go down the list, right? And the first one was find joy in physical activity again. Let's try saying that with a different cadence. Find joy in physical activity again. Go as all in as possible. I have not. Well, I can't say that I haven't done this. Like I can't say that I haven't done this. I think I've just done it in a different way. But I'll be honest with you, I haven't found the joy yet. I haven't found the joy. I have tried to stretch. I obviously walk still. Um, I do taekwondo twice a week. I had to take last week off because I think I have a rotator cuff issue, and I really hope I don't. But it's been feeling better the past few days, so we're going to go today. But I've been really enjoying taekwondo, but I haven't found an actual joy in movement again. I thought maybe with people in Taekwondo and Canvas starting to like get back into his fitness grind would have helped motivate me to get back into my fitness grind. But I just haven't found the joy in movement again yet. And I don't know what it is I'm looking for there. I think when I was doing movement, it was like quite literally a life-changing thing. I went from high school where I was skinny, scrawny, bony, and I really only did sports, but I never worked out, never really like had a fitness routine of sorts. And so college was all about reinventing myself, reinventing my entire life, and calisthenics was a huge part of my personality back then. But now, since we're doing so many different things, like I would only be doing, I would only be working out to like fulfill some sort of disciplinary thing, but I wouldn't be doing it because I find it fun or like joyous or I'm addicted to it like I am to do all this content stuff, things like that, right? And so I haven't found the joy in it yet. Um, and that's kind of not concerning per se, but I think it is a bit like what's the word for it? It's a bit regretful, kind of. I feel like a little bit of regret because I'm like, man, I wish I could enjoy it again. I wish I could wake up and just bang out push-ups and handstands and want to do pull-ups on my pull-up bar and all that stuff. And I think I could get there. It has to be a lot of like front-loaded intention for then uh progressively like enjoying the parts of it that I do enjoy. I think I don't enjoy it right now because I have to kind of work through the muck a little bit. I have to get my strength back, get my mobility back, get my stability back. All my joints that have been very stiff due to desk job vibes for years now. I need to get rid of all of that. And I just haven't done that. I just haven't done that. I just haven't had the time of the day to do that. Um, you know, speaking of calisthenics, we were in Taekwondo the other like 2 3 weeks ago. It was post class, and we were all like hanging out, do like jump roping and all that stuff, and we were all like just trying to hit a handstand. And listen, 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 man, I'm not the best calisthenics athlete in the world. I'm not even top 99% of calisthenics. I might be bottom 1% of calisthenics athletes in the world. So I didn't expect anything from myself. Got a mustache hair in my mouth. I didn't expect anything from myself. But when it was my turn to hit the handstand as we were all doing it, I hit that man so clean. I hit it so clean. It was so nice. But you know why it's so bad that I hit it so clean? Because I'm pretty sure that's what messed up my shoulder. I'm pretty sure me forcing myself into that position with no prior mobility or lack of mobility and just holding that thing for as long as I did because I held it. I didn't just get into the position, I held it. Okay? That should have been on a recording. That should have been recorded because of how good that was given my lack of calisthenics work that I've done recently. And so yeah, that was I think that's why we have this roughed up baby right here. But that's okay. We're gonna get through it. I've never had a rotator cuff like issue, but it's interesting because it's new, and I can kind of like figure out okay, what kind of rehabilitative work do I need to do for it versus other things that I've had to do in the past. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was the first go. Wow, yapper. That's just what I am. I'm a yapper. So we talked for a lot on just goal number one. Goal number two: find pockets of excitement and actually do them. This is a bit vague, but I like this because I think I've been doing it. Um, because I begun to feel more excitement this year than I have in the past 2 years. And a couple of things that I've done that do excite me actually, or that interest me and that I like to do, have been whenever I feel like playing a video game, I'll play it. I won't just like stop myself. Whenever I feel like, um, you know, playing around with AI and Claude and trying to make it do different things for me and trying to see, hey, will Claude doing this help my life and or help me um help make me more efficient in what I do. Yes, cool. No, well, I still learned how to do it, and that was really cool, right? And that's what I love. AI really excites me, except for in my books, but AI really excites me, and I really love playing with it. And I've been trying to do a bit more of that. I started working on an app this year, and then I hit a wall where it would require like actual more monetary investment to even get it to like the MVP stage that I wanted at. And I kind of put it on a pause again until I go back to it. But I think the like working on different apps have been exciting to me. Um, I've gotten not more into journaling, but just more into like jotting down everything that I think wherever I can, however I can. And so I have like a file with all of my like different business ideas and just things to create type of ideas. I have a file of like all of my just random musings. The Substack has been great to write every week and like ruminate on, ponder on, chew on. I think it's really cool, and I've been able to connect with people on a lot of them. And as my boy Julian says, I have some banger lines in some of these that I need to go back to and like pull out one by one. I think a really cool carousel would be um awesome quotes from each Substack from my Substack this year and just pull out the banger lines from each one. Because, the whole article might not be great, but that one line is great. That one line is great. So I think I have been doing that. And it's been making life much, much more enjoyable. Went to a book festival in June. I've been traveling more, much to my own chagrin, but I think it's good for me. Been seeing friends a lot more, making friends here and actually investing time in those friends, knowing full well that I'm probably going to move back to Texas next year, but still making friends here and developing those connections and seeing if at some point they want to move down to Austin with us, we'll move down to Texas. We don't even know where it's going to be actually, but move down to Texas with us. Um, that would be awesome. But really investing in those friendships that I had neglected to do the first 1.5 to 2 years of when we were here. So I think that one I've definitely done, and I'm gonna continue to do just because I've developed like just the natural behaviors that just allow me to do those. Really, it is that's just how it is. The third one is spend more time finding different experiences to share with my wife. Sort of. Hear me out. Where we are isn't the most experience filled place, but I think I haven't done enough. I think I've started, I've dabbled, I've tried a couple of things. Um, but I think some of the things that I like, just she would do it with me, but she wouldn't like fully enjoy it. And I think some of the things that she likes, I would do with her, but I wouldn't fully enjoy it. But I'm trying to figure out um more things just for us to do. So that one's still like a little bit of work in progress. And I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna yap too much about that one. Another one was continue the podcast and the book content, see what happens here in year two. And I mean, hey, we're at episode 100 of the podcast. We've had so many different people come on the podcast this year, authors, therapists, other professionals. We still got friends on here because it's very important to me is to bring my friends along in my journey. And we've been doing more solo stuff. And that's been awesome. That's been really awesome. Same with the book content. Have I gone back to YouTube? No, because every time I post, I get like 5 views, and I just don't want to see that for myself. So I've just been focusing on the short form side of it, and it's been going well. It's been getting better. I'm getting better at the hooks and the content creation, like the technical side of it. I've been more consistent. I got Claude to edit the videos for me, so almost all the videos after a certain like point when I got Claude to start editing for me like a month ago all have like the same title, font and theme and location on the screen, same caption style. And I do it like right here where the window is right there. So it like aesthetically it looks the exact same all the time. So it's like the consistency of the aesthetic is there, the consistency of the editing is there. And then it's just me. Then it's just me. I use the same microphone and I do it on the vlog cam. So it's the same camera, same mic. So there's no issues there either. Everything's more consistent. because I developed that system and it's been paying off. It's been paying off. I had a viral video go off earlier in June, and then now videos are getting over like 1,000 views pretty consistently, as long as I like, my topic is good and my hook is good and things like that, and I don't drone for too long. But yeah, so that's been really cool to see over on Instagram. Don't even ask me about YouTube and TikTok. Those are still all over the place a little bit. Sometimes it's 500, sometimes it's 1,000, sometimes it's 200. Who knows? But regardless, it's still there, still growing, still something I want to grow. I have ideas for the booktube, and I just don't know what to do about it, to be honest with you. I don't know if I have it in me right now to pour more time into that when I've been doing everything else. But I have ideas of what I want to do there and how I want it to look and how I want it to go. I just haven't. Um, I haven't done much of it. I've scripted a couple of videos, I just haven't recorded them. But regardless, I have continued them and we're still going with them. And so I'm happy to say that that goal has been more or less achieved slash is still in progress. The next one is no, actually set up Fableware, my bookish apparel brand, the way that I want it, and then let it be. I want to try out ads. So Fableware is in a better spot than it's ever been, in my opinion. I hired somebody to help me with the Shopify store and the socials. And so right now, like the store is up and running and the aesthetic is good. We got the socials up and running, and so we're starting to post content online. And that is now going to feed itself into the ads because we just took some mock-ups and some other stuff that we can put into the ads and get some like ads going and seeing if that brings people in as well. Still, I'll show people the shirts, the designs, and they say this is cool. Would like I want to get one, and sometimes they don't, and that's okay. I think I've had to understand from the entrepreneurial side of it that just because somebody says something doesn't mean they're going to do it, and that's okay, right? They're not saying something's bad just because they said they're going to do something and they don't. They're human. I'm human. I don't have to feel upset about it. And they can do whatever they want. If they eventually want to buy it, cool. If they don't want to buy it, awesome. Now, a part of me does want to ask some of my friends who say, I'm who repeatedly tell me I'm gonna get one and then don't. Part of me does want to ask them like, so like what's the hold up? Do you just forget? Is it like not front of mind? Do you need a reminder? Like all these things, right? But I think I do that later on. I kind of just want to focus on like some of these other things, but sales would help with some of these other things. So who knows? But regardless, Fableware is in a better spot than it's ever been, and I'm still trying to grow it and um, see what we can do there. Meditate frequently. I hate myself. Just kidding. I actually don't hate myself now. But I'm not going to take the cop out answer and say, well, I've been meditating in my own way. I do agree and support and endorse the idea that there are different ways to meditate, but I have simply not been meditating. I've been just a lot of doing things and I have not been meditating. And I know that because whenever I do meditate, I'm like, oh, this feels tough and foreign, but it feels great. So I haven't. So this is my commitment to start meditating again, starting today after I get done with this recording, because it's very important. I kid you not, the amount of times that I've caught myself doing things that I don't want to be doing and no, feeling like, honestly, if I'd meditated first thing in the morning, or if I had um meditated like 3 4 days before this, and then I get to this fifth day, I probably wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing now. I feel like that meditation would have helped once again take what take all the sand and rocks and stones that are in my brain, and the meditation would have like filtered all of those through like the mental sieve, and so all the rocks and stones of things that I need to do that are left. I can do those things and all the sand is gone. The sand being um, things I don't need to be doing, thoughts I don't need to be having, um, like just distractions I don't need to be distracted by, things like that, right? Like all of those could go away. Um, and I would just do the things I need to do. And that doesn't mean work all the time. But like if I tell myself I want to read and I've spent the entire day doing other things and not reading, then what am I doing? Like I want to read. I'm a reader. Why am I on my phone scrolling for no reason, right? So it's things like that where meditation really helps me, and I just don't. So we are going to meditate frequently, not daily probably, but frequently, and hopefully by the end of the year, I can look back on this and say the second half of the year was meditation filled, and I can be proud of myself for that. You guys keep me accountable. Whoever's listening to this, text me periodically. Put it in the comments of the clips or the shorts or whatever it is. Hey, did you meditate today? And I promise you, if I say yes, it'll only be if I actually went and meditated after you told me to, and then I came back and said yes, I just did. Um, so the next one is read Main Street Millionaire, because we talked about this at the beginning of the year that I am very business mind focused, and I really want to understand where my thoughts are on this whole concept idea. Like, is business for me? Is it not for me? Um, Buying my own business, starting my own business. Like, what do I really want in life? Like, how do I want to, like, what kind of work do I want to be doing in life? Things like that, right? Um, we'll get to this thing in a second. But Main Street Millionaire is Cody Sanchez's book, and when I initially started it earlier in the year, I think after I made this video because I hadn't started it yet, I got through like the introduction, and I thought this was gonna be another woo woo um thing. I thought it was gonna be like a just motivational, all that stuff. And then I got to section one. So she splits it up into sections, right? Um, she splits it up into sections, like four sections, four steps that spell out the word rich. R is for research, I is for invest, C is for command, and H is for harness. I've only gone through step one, R is for research. So I did half of step one like early in the year, and then I just did the second half this month in June because I just put it down for a while. Yeah, it scared me. Okay, I got done with it, and it scared me at how, first of all, great this book is, because Cody Sanchez is not giving you a um here's how you do it, woo woo high level framework, motivation porn type book. These are literally tangible step-by-step things that she's like, build your deal box, look at these deals, look at those, here are the websites you could go to start browsing and seeing what's out there. Here are examples of emails or conversations that I've had when I was first starting off to like getting to like figure things out with people. Here there are stories of other people who've done this that she's been associated with, and those are always good to show that like, oh, it's not just me, other people have also done this. But it's all tangible, concrete, like, information. It's not advice. It is literally, how do you do this? Step one, two, three, four, five. That's how it is. Which I fucking love her for this. I love her for doing this because, after reading Five Types of Wealth with Sahil Bloom, he tries to make that into a more um, you know, like, the book itself is more of a advice, motivation, storytelling type of book. Um, and then he has his own worksheets and stuff to work along with if you really wanted to figure out, like, in each of the five types, where do you stand? What can you do to get better? What actions are you like an actual like worksheet to do things. But I read that and I was like, this is really good for like vibes and stuff, and the stories and I think what are they called, aphorisms maybe, or just the metaphors, the analogies, all that stuff. Um, but it wasn't meant to be like a step by step instruction manual. This is a step by step instruction manual. Okay, this right here is fire. But I got so scared after step one because it just felt like so overwhelming and like a lot. So I know that like I'm afraid to keep going because the first section was just so dense that I'm like, how much more dense is the rest of this book? But I think I'm going to read the entire book, highlight it, annotate it, and then I'm going to give it to my friend who also wants to read it. So before I move, I'll give it to him. He can read it, do whatever he wants with it. But if I was to ever like, you know, want to buy my own business and figure out how that process works, I would open the book back up and just go page by page and step by step and really just spend an entire year just with this book to see like, how um how do I do all these things? Because I think reading about it makes it overwhelming because it seems like a lot, but maybe when I start doing it, it won't feel as much, you know? So yeah, we are reading Main Street Millionaire, and I'm happy to say that goal is still intact and ongoing and in process. What kind of goal is this, Arish? One sec. I need to drink some water before that. Still work on what I want to do in life. What kind of goal is that? What kind of goal is that? I'm kind of mad at previous Arish because what kind of goal is that? It's such an intangible and ambiguous goal, but it's still true. It's still true. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in life, to be honest with you. I don't know what I want to do in life, to be honest. I have inklings, I have leanings, but at the end of the day, I'm still trying to figure out like day in, day out, how do I want to spend the rest of my life? And honestly, I think that's kind of a wrong way to think about it. I think what I should be thinking about it is like, how do I want to spend the next season of my life? Do I want to spend the next season of my life like relaxing, casual, like enjoying life? If so, I should not start my own businesses, and I should not um, buy my own business. I shouldn't be doing either of those things because I should just go and maybe find a new job, continue at the job that I am, and just use the time that I have to myself to go spend it with my wife and do whatever we want to do. That's what I should do if I want to spend the next season of my life enjoying my life. But if I want to spend the next season of my life still grinding, still trying to build upon what I've been doing in this season of my life, then yeah, maybe those things will happen. But maybe that won't bring enjoyment necessarily because it'll be stressful, time consuming, energy draining, all that stuff. But you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant. If that's what I want to do, then that's what I want to do. So maybe that's what I need to do is like figure out what I want to do in the next season of my life versus what I want to do just in life in general, because there will be different seasons. Once you start a family, then like what you want to do in life may drastically change. You know what I mean? What I want to do now versus in my 30s versus in my 40s versus in my 50s will change. I'm very much open to that. It's just scary. It's just scary. Plan more trips. Sorry, next goal. Plan more trips to see friends outside of the trips I take with my wife and not let friend trips affect time spent with my wife. I've actually done this a decent amount, and I am proud of myself for doing this because in February I took a day trip down to Texas to see my friends. Um, I've gone to I've gone on trips with my wife, and then separately I went to um, the book festival in June solo. Wife had to work a lot; and she couldn't come with me, but I had to go to the book festival solo, and that was still really good. I just took a day trip to NYC to see my sister. Wife still had to work, unfortunately, but I was off this week, so I've been doing a lot more solo trips that I think have been really good for me. Um, and combining that with like trips with my wife and stuff has been good. It's just more trips and more travel than I have ever done in my life. And not to say like I still don't really enjoy it. I don't enjoy the aspect of traveling, but I do enjoy what it comes with. It comes with taking me out of my house, therefore like the area where I would be distracted the most or um be relaxing the most. So a lot of the times when I'm on trains or I'm on flights, I will be either reading on my Kindle or I'll pull my laptop out and be doing any sort of work, whether it's scripting, editing, um, or anything like that, right? I won't just like be sitting on my phone doing nothing. Is really how it goes. And I like that. I like those moments for that. It also helps me like I'll take time to just like think. It helps me like it actually helps clear my mind because I'm not at home where all of my stuff is. And it helps me like actually think, what am I doing? What do I need to be doing? How can I use my time? How am I feeling right now? What am I looking to look at? What am I looking for? All that stuff. All that stuff comes with traveling. And that's what I really enjoy it for. I can't always do that when I'm with my wife traveling because I want to talk to her, want to like be with her, and want to like interact with her in the surroundings. But there's not as much time for like me being quiet, just observing the people around me and having my own thoughts, you know? So solo travel comes with a lot of benefits. I don't love it, but I think I'm getting more and more and more. I'm getting more and more and more uh used to it, more and more like just um relaxed with it. Um and I think it's also like if I'm traveling for purposes that I want. I think if I had to like, travel for work and all that stuff, that would make it a really big pain, but traveling for the stuff that I want has been really good. It's been really fun, and I've loved the friends that I've hung out with and things like that too. It's been a great time, great relationship building um, for me and for the other parties, in my opinion. The last one, and I will tell you right now, have not done this. I might as well wipe this off the list. I have not done it. It says dance more. My last goal says dance more. It says right there. It says dance. Oh no, sorry. Can I zoom in? I can't. Oh, I missed it. One sec. One sec. I'm screwing everything up. I'm screwing everything up. Everything has been screwed up. New Year's motto video. Yeah. It says dance more right there. You can't really see it because my camera is like focusing on the wrong things, but it says dance more right there. I haven't. I really haven't. I don't know what it is. Like I'll see all my friends dancing. I'll see all of them sessioning, battling, and the feeling's not there. It's just not. And and I know that when I go back with them I want to, but I also just won't. Or if I do, I'll feel really rough about it. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think it's just one of those things where it's like I feel like I found slightly different emotional regulation methods to where dancing isn't the first thing that comes to mind anymore. I think that's what it is. Um, I still think dancing is probably the best emotional regulator for me, and I just haven't done it. I also don't listen to music that much. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube videos, and yeah, so that's been tough. I don't think I'll ever dance like that unless I move back and I move back to Dallas or something, and I can just dance again with friends and just do that more frequently, that kind of thing. But other than that, yeah, I don't think I'll dance more. I really don't think I'll dance like that anymore. Which isn't I'm not upset about that really, to be honest with you. I think that was a great season of my life and taught me a lot about myself and created some amazing relationships with people. But dance just isn't like my life. And I think that's completely okay. All it needs to be is, I'm still a musical family. I'm gonna teach my kids how to dance. We're gonna sing, we're gonna dance together, we're gonna have joyous times, and that's fine. I don't have to train. I don't have to necessarily like lab and all that stuff like I used to. I think um knowing that has been nice, but I do wish there was still that like bug in me that wanted to. But I rarely have that bug, to be honest with you. I rarely do. Yeah. All right. So that was a mid-year recap, dissecting all the goals that I set for myself early in the year and seeing where we're at. And I'm happy to say I think we're in the positive. I think we're in the positive besides dancing, meditating, and the one of the earlier ones about joy and physical activity. I think we're doing the rest of them. We're at a good 70. 70 is passing in the American standard education system, which is still pretty bad. But we're passing, and that's good. Let's go into the next stuff, which is gonna be interesting. Um, I took pictures of it. Where was it? Yes. We have three questions that I want to talk about in these Q&As, and I appreciate everybody who sent in questions. The first one is a book you recommended to the most people and a book recommended to you that you love. I really should have thought about this more before turning on recording because now I'm in like a ponderous mode of like, what book have I recommended the most to people? Because I've been doing this for like 3+ years. I think I recommend Legends and Lattes a ton to people. I wish I could have the physical copy for you, but I literally just gave it to somebody to read like a couple of weeks ago. But that's a really good standalone, low stakes fantasy that I think um, if you're just looking for like a book to be relaxing and to read and to enjoy, it's really good. I also usually recommend to like new readers standalone books in general. If it's to like other people who also read fantasy books, I love recommending Selena Williams Chima books that are right there. Those she's my favorite author and has been since I was a teenager, and I love her books. A little bit further down, I'll recommend either Andrea Stewart and the Drowning Empire series or Tim Fasciola's book, depending on how dense of a book that you want. Um, Me personally, I've really been enjoying a lot of my like action, progression fantasy, literary RPG type books, and those a lot of those books are these Athon books right here, which have been really, really good, really, really fun to read. Um, I think the book that I love recommending the most honestly might be The Will of the Many to people. So The Will of the Many, and I'll just show you guys this book. So The Will of the Many is a Roman inspired epic fantasy where the world is large. The cast of characters is amazing in my opinion. The words in the book are tiny ass. Don't let that detract you from how great this book is. It's essentially like it starts off as like a revenge plot and more or less still acts as a revenge plot, but like many people's different types of revenge and how that like integrates together. It has a very interesting power system called will. It's almost like the force in a sense. It's like this like intangible and like not like you don't really see it in the air or whatever. It's not like physical magic that you like see the colors and see all that stuff, but you see the effects of it. Um, it has a it has a pyramid scheme hierarchy system inside of it where like as a human everybody has a level of specific will that then um they generate inside of themselves and they can use for power and things like that. But the way their hierarchy system works is you have the workers and the poor people and the, the really low of the low people who have to cede, aka give up a portion of their will to somebody who's in the level of the pyramid above them. Like legit, it's a pyramid hierarchical system in this world. And so you have like people on the at the eighth level seeding to the seventh, people at the seventh level seeding to the sixth, fifth, fourth, third, second, and the first up top. And the higher up you get, you're obviously like more powerful the higher up the pyramid you are because you're getting so much will seeded to you that you're basically unstoppable. And it is I read it twice. The first time I read it, I was like, "This is cool. It's a 4-star book. It was really good." I read it the second time, and the second time I read it, I really like read the book, and I think this should have been one of the best epic fantasies of all time. I think it lacked with book two, which is called The Strength of the Few. It's that green book right. Wait, where's my hand going? It's that green book right there. It's that green thing right there. Shout out. That's a Raven. Corey Massey. Sorry, Kyle Massey. Um, Book one was immaculate, in my opinion. It is amazing. Book two was really good, but I think it fell short in many parts to where it's not the best sequel ever as everybody talks about it. It is not the most amazing thing ever as a lot of early reviewers talked about it in order to drum up the hype of it. So I had a lot of people like talk to me like book 2 was just not it. And so I'm cautiously now optimistic for book 3. I still think it'll be one of the greats, but I'm just annoyed I'm annoyed by the fact that like not every book in this series is going to be like the best thing ever in my opinion. It could have been, but it wasn't. But I think I love recommending The Will of the Many to people because what you want out of it, you'll get. If you want interesting foreshadowing and theory crafting and different lines and mysteries, you'll get that. If you want a very intriguing magic system that like intertwines itself in the political landscape of the world, you'll get that. If you want some action, you'll get that. If you want some great relationship dialogue, you'll also get that. So I love recommending Will of the Many to people. And a book recommended to me that I love, um, actually I do want I think I'll kind of go with the first one that was recommended to me that I absolutely love. And honestly, it was no, not the first one. I'll do the more recent one. Somebody told me to read One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I'll also get that one for you guys. Here we go. One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This book is beautiful. It's actually one of my 5-star reads of the year so far. This book is beautiful. There's a book too I haven't read it yet. I really need to. It's on my list. But the writing of this book is gorgeous. It's a kind of a darker gray fantasy book where you have this town, this kingdom that um, has all but wiped out magic in most of the common people. They don't like people just having access to magic. They like to regulate who has access to it, and they have access to it through tarot cards and cards in general. Um, and this one woman, she ends up developing a type of magic that brings with it either the apocalypse or the um, reverse of the apocalypse. I don't know what that necessarily is, but she has like a monster inside of her. So it's like two wolves are inside of me. One is me, and one is a 500-year-old monster that can take over and beat the shit out of people. It's awesome. It's amazing, and I genuinely think this is one of the most beautiful books I've ever read, beautifully written books that I've ever read. Uh, the fact that I haven't read book 2 right now is a crime. I've been unfortunately reading the off-campus series of books just to get it out of my system, but I will be reading uh, Two Twisted Glass, whatever book 2 is called. Two Twisted Crowns is what book 2 is called. I'll be reading that soon. But I absolutely loved this book. Absolutely loved this book, and it was just recently recommended to me by my cousin. So, Will of the Many, One Dark Window, some amazing, amazing reads. The next question in the Q&A was, what would your death row meal be? this was out of left field, honestly, and that was I was actually thinking about this, and I was thinking about how into it do I want to get into this question, but I really want to get into this question, so let's get into it. Okay, what would my death row meal be? And my question, so I have like two. I have two. The first one is if my mother is still alive and if I'm in death row, which is a very somber thing to say, but if my mother is still alive, I need her handmade palak paneer. And you might be thinking, why would you put your mother through that? Why would you make her make something for you on death row? And I'm like, I don't know, but I need her handmade palak paneer with some naan bread, preferably garlic naan. And I need a pot of that shit. That's what I need. That is what I need. And I would, I don't know why I'd be on death row, but I'd go. That's what I do. The second one is if my mom is for some reason not alive, but I'm on death row, which would honestly be better, so she wouldn't have to see me go through this. I need Richardson, Texas masala wok, the chicken lollipops from there, along with the paneer butter masala. also with naan and rice. That would be my meal. Why Arish, why is that your meal and not some five-star filet mignon type stuff, right? First of all, I don't eat beef, so I can't have a filet mignon anyway. Second of all, masala wok got me through some tough moments in college. So when I was at college at University of Texas at Dallas, down the street, you go down, you take a left out of the college, you go down that street, you take a right, and on that street there's like shops, and on one of those shops is called Masala Walk. It's a Indo-Chinese a type of place, um, restaurant, and I would always go whenever I'm feeling upset, whether I got a bad grade on an exam, it was a weekend I just wasn't feeling great, emotionally I was just kind of like exhausted or just not feeling awesome. I would go, I would get one order of their chicken lollipops, which comes with four chicken lollipops. I would get their paneer butter masala. I would get some naan, and it would come with rice. And I would have all four of those chicken lollipops sitting in bed watching anime. And once I was done with those, I would start on a portion of the paneer butter masala, and then I would save the rest for the next day. And I know that the next day I would have to go to the bathroom because it would not sit well with me, but it sat well with my soul. And that place has a very special, like, just place in my heart that I think I'm gonna be really sad if I'm on death row. And so I might as well just go there. You know what I mean? I might as well get my stuff there. So that would be my death row meal, and I hope for you who asked that question, you're satisfied with those answers. Um, and the third one that we have was, how do you deal with burnout? And this is a great one. And I do know the person who sent this one, and we've talked about it multiple times. How do I deal with burnout? And I actually have been thinking about this for the past like few days as I was thinking about this recording. I want to first define burnout real quickly. So for me, burnout usually happens when there is a dissonance between what I want to do and what I have to do. And it's also like how do I want to spend my time versus how do I have to spend my time. Most people talk about burnout. Um, Most people talk about burnout related to work. You can have burnout in many things. When you're in a book slump, you're kind of in a burnout potentially. When you're when you've binged like 4 seasons of a show and you don't want to continue to watch the rest of the season, aka the originals on HBO Max or Prime Video, one of those two. That's kind of a burnout because you did a lot of a thing. You spent your time doing just that one thing so much when you could have sprinkled in some other things in that time to keep it fresh. You spent all of your time doing one thing that you're just burnt out of it, and you need a break. But I think most people they get burnt out with work. And what I see there is you're spending your time working when you would want to be doing something else. Because if you liked work, you probably wouldn't feel as burnt out. You might feel tired, you might feel exhausted, but you wouldn't feel burnt out because burnt out brings with it a sense of I need something else, something different, not this same thing. So how do I deal with that? So I've been at my current job for 6 years now. In that time, I've burnt out many different times. When I feel the least burnt out is when I actively take steps to take care of myself and show myself that I'm putting me first over the job. What does that look like? For me, it was not taking a holiday, not taking like a 4-day weekend, none of that stuff. What I would do is I would take like a Tuesday or a Wednesday in the middle of the week, and I would say I'm taking that day off. I'm not going anywhere on that day. Honestly, I'm spending that day however I want to spend that day. And back in the day, it was I wake up, I want to go for a walk, I want to have like a nice like breakfast, cook for myself. Um, I want to read on the couch while eating breakfast. maybe I go back out for some errands or some chores or whatever it is, or I'll if I'm at this was around the time when I was doing YouTube more, and so I need to edit some videos. So I'll sit and edit some videos, or I'll watch some TV, whatever it is. Um, do some chores around the house, keep myself like active. Step outside the house again for groceries, or maybe I'll go to the public library and read there a bit more. Um, like do things like that later on in the day. I'd go to the gym because I usually like going to the gym in the evening, so I'd go then. Or I also would just like in the middle of the day, I just go to the rock climbing gym and go rock climbing back when I was doing that more. Um, and all these little things are things that I chose to spend how to spend my day. And none of them that I had to do. It once again was not like, oh, I'm taking a day off from work to do things that I need to get done. It was more so, what do I want to do today? Because we feel burnt out given we are spending time the way we don't want to spend time. So if you can mix in moments of your heavy work seasons, heavy work periods of spending time the way you want to spend your time, I think that helps a lot with alleviating the feeling of burnout. That's what's helped me. I completely get that people don't want to just take a day here and there. It might mess up your workflow. You might think that like, I'd rather just go on a vacation. I'd rather use that day and go on a vacation and things like that. And the one, I'm one of those people who has commented a lot in the past of taking vacations when you're working in the corporate environment absolutely sucks, or when are in any sort of like job, because you have to front load work to account for the time that you're off, and then when you're back, you have 1.5 to 2 times the extra work because of people who did the work that you needed them to do while you were off, and then you had to come back and do that work, or people just didn't get to something and you have more work when you come back. And so it's like I have to do a lot of work in front of the vacation. During the vacation, I'm really tired because I did a lot of work, and now I need to like just recuperate from this exhaustion. Maybe you have a couple of days in the middle of the vacation that you're feeling okay, and then at the end of the vacation, you're like, oh, I gotta go back to work, and maybe you start like dreading or anticipating the amount of work that you'll have when you come back, which will also be a lot, and that will tire you out again, and it'll make you a bit more resentful. So I like taking maybe once a month, once every 2 months, take one day in the middle of the week and say, I'm taking this day off and I'm spending it the way that I want to spend it. And actually think about how do you want to spend it? Not not like, oh, I was supposed to do like laundry last weekend, but I didn't get to it, so I'll do it today. No, no. Spend the day how you want to spend it. Take yourself out on a date. Go for a coffee date with yourself, a juice date. Go treat yourself to a nice lunch at a cafe. Get a ciabatta sandwich, something like that, right? But spend the day how you want to spend it, not how you have to spend it. And that's, in my opinion, a really good counter to the feeling of burnout. So I hope that helps. Did I get too serious? I hope I didn't get too serious. I didn't mean for that to be so serious. I just was, trying to get all this, advice and answer out there. I didn't, if it came off too seriously, I apologize. But I wholeheartedly, with my entire soul and other parts of my body, like endorse that. Like in order to counter burnout, you need to actively choose to spend time how you want it in the middle of like the burnout period, not before, not after, in the middle of it. Because you need to feel like you're in control, you're not being controlled. You need to show yourself that I'm taking care of myself, I'm putting myself first. You know, I have put myself first, and now I will put myself for the company, for the work, for the job, whatever it is, right? So that is my opinion how to not avoid, but like counter burnout as it's happening and get past it, get through it, get above it, etc. Guys, we are almost at time here at the top of the hour, and we are here for the last announcement, the last segment of the agenda. I need a sip of water. I took 2 sips. Okay, the last big announcement. Drum roll, please. We're continuing the podcast. That's it. That's the big announcement. We're continuing the podcast. We're not stopping at episode 100. There was a part of me that really did want to post episode 100 and be like, okay, we're done here, guys. It's been a good run, but no, we're continuing. Why are we continuing? Why is this as big of an announcement as I'm making it to be? I think it's really important to acknowledge the fact that I've been here for 100 episodes over 3 years, 2023, bit of 2024, mostly 2025, and now 2026. So 3.5 years now, and committing to keeping going for the next 50, 100 episodes, how much ever it is, right? Um, that's just very important to me, and it is a very big announcement that I had to make to myself. Or do you want to continue it? Are you stopping this? Are you not? Whatever it is, right? And I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep getting some amazing conversations on here for you guys. I don't know what it's gonna look like. I think that's the thing. We're gonna keep the podcast going, but I don't know how it's gonna look. There's some behind the scenes things that I've been working on, ruminating on, trying to make calls on. Do I rebrand? Do we keep the brand? Do I keep the same title? How do we structure it? Do I need to cap these episodes at 1 hour? Because a lot of them go to 1.5 to 2 sometimes. And how, do we do Patreons? Do we do other extra things like that? Do I make social only content that just is really nice to put on socials, and then hopefully that filters back to these podcasts? All that stuff, right? All that stuff is for me to figure out in the background. All you have to worry about is the fact that you still get the End Goal podcast every Monday, still going forward. And then you also get a Substack at the end of the week. If you're not subscribed to the Substack, you should be at endgoalpodcast.substack.com. And you should go follow me on all the socials as well. But we're still here. We are still going strong. Thank you to everybody who has been a part of this 100 episode journey so far. We're not done yet. We are not done yet. Because one day we will have 1,000 subscribers and listeners. One day we will have 10,000. And you who has been here first can honestly proudly say, I was there at the 100th episode when he had 110 subscribers on YouTube, like averaging 10 to 15 listeners or views on YouTube, and probably around 10 listeners on Spotify. And he was still going strong, still doing it for the fun, still doing it for the fun of the game, really. That's what I'm here for, is the game of it all. And I hope you take pride in that. I take a lot of pride in that, actually. I do take a lot of pride in that. But yeah, we are in it for the next however long we can keep it going, we can keep it going. That being said, guys, thank you for listening today. If you did listen all the way through, I appreciate you. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome back if you're not new here. If you're a resident of the End Goal podcast, and look out for the next few episodes. The next one after this is awesome. It's awesome. It has something to do with that right there. That stuff right there. It has something to do with that stuff right there. For audio only listeners, I'm pointing at my Taekwondo belt display. For I do need to respect the fact that there may be audio only listeners and they don't always look at the video. So I will try to do a better job about that. But anyways, the next episode is going to be so good. You cannot miss it. And you need to tell your friends to not miss it, because it's coming next week. And dude, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.